No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and here we are on a Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, whichever part of the day you're listening to me. It could even be at midnight. Who knows? As long as you're sitting there listening to me, I'm happy. Listen, I think I have talked to you a lot about woke and how dangerous it is for companies and individuals to act woke. But today I'm specifically want to dwell upon the companies and businesses who become woke. Now, if we look at Hollywood, Hollywood's always woke. They will never go to sleep. They're always woke. So we have a problem with them. I was reading a comment today by, what's that actress name? Let me tell you who she is. Charlize Theron, whatever it is. So she makes a statement on her Twitter today, and she goes, she vows to F anybody up who is trying to F with LGBT people. I don't know why she said that. She just made that statement out of the blue, but because she's woke. Wokeness is a terrible thing when you start threatening people. Woke leads from an ideology to a threat of violence, and then sometimes even violence itself. And we've seen that happen, especially in the trans rights movement, where they have literally begun attacking people on the streets. Anybody who does not believe in them, they attack, and it becomes violent. And it's an ugly situation. It really is. I want to go to a recording that I found, because I was looking at has anybody out there actually sat down and made a recording and tell me what woke is or what cancel culture is, because it's all in one single group of people. So I found one. I'm going to play it for you right now. Just one moment.
Simple definition of cancel culture is it's an incapacity to reason clearly in moral terms. Cancel culture is not about persuasion. It's not about truth. It's not about justice. It's not about right. It is about using or misusing words and rhetoric to achieve power and to assert your power over others, to determine what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to say, who you're allowed to support, who you're allowed to be friends with. And it's a complete inversion of what we would traditionally consider to be actual human virtues. Actual virtues, things like charity, a slowness to judge or to condemn, generosity in interpreting the motives, the ideas of others, a commitment to seeking what's true, to doing what's right, to standing up for our friends, like courage. All of these things are utterly suffocated in the climate of cancel culture. Simple.
So that is a good description of what cancel culture and wokeness is all about. And when businesses take on wokeness and they take on these social warfare type situations, Disney going up against the state on a lie of a bill that they adopted, and they pushed it through, and they pushed on it, and it was a complete lie on gay individuals in Disney. And then we have the trans movement that's going on at the moment, where if you go up against them, they will try to condemn you, they will try to make you feel guilty, they will even attack you physically. And then you look at what happened to Bud Light, promoting their beer using a trans male who's pretending to be a female. And that became a woke situation for them, and they literally lost billions of dollars of business. They lost their brand. They lost their market share. And if you look at Coca-Cola, who took on the same situation in the state of Georgia, it backfired on them tremendously. Because individuals see that wokeness is really unethical. Anytime that you mix politics within your business, you will find that you will lose business. You will find that people have had enough. They're tired of going to Starbucks and being lectured on Black Lives Matter. You see, wokeness is taking on a political stance on a social issue. And then what happens? People say, okay, enough, we don't want it anymore. We're tired of going to Starbucks and sitting down and have to see something about politics or social justice. If you go back to the history of wokeness, it really goes back to the days of Lenin and what happened in Germany. They used the same mythology to attack individuals. And we're seeing it happening again today. You see, this is a very sick, unethical situation when you bring and you push a woke agenda. If you go back and look at what happened in Germany, look what happened with Lenin and Stalin and all those individuals, what's happening today is exactly the plan that they used back in those times. By attacking individuals and trying to belittle them and trying to put them down as much as possible. And one of the things that if you read Lenin's writings and also other individuals back in that era, they said if we can get into the businesses, we can control the people. If we can get into Coca-Cola and have them push the agenda, the social argument, then they can take down the state. They can take down a politician. They can take down other companies. They can attack other companies and push them into this thought process of their political thought is wrong. If you look at what people try to do oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. It was with a restaurant, and the restaurant took on a position, and people attacked them. We're not going to go to them. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. We're going to boycott them. Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry. My mind went blank there. Chick-fil-A had that issue on the LGBT community. However, I lived in Los Angeles at the time when that happened, and I'm telling you that the LGBT community kept going to Chick-fil-A because it was a value. And no one at Chick-fil-A said, okay, if you're with the LGBT community, leave. No one said that. That wasn't even the message of the company. But that's what the political side of the LGBT community decided to take on. And they went up against Chick-fil-A, but it didn't work out. Because wokeness never works out. It creates a stir. It muddies the water. It creates conflict. Let me tell you, when you have a woke conflict, it's very difficult for you to make any sense and that people will follow you for very long. Because once they see that you are pushing a violent storm against other people who have nothing to do with your social issue, it turns around and goes against you. And if you look at the companies who have become woke, it has backfired on them because it creates conflict. Creates conflict with the employees because not everybody's going to agree with senior management when they take on a social issue. It creates conflict with the clients and the customers of that company. It destroys your branding because now you're seen as a woke company. And once you get that tag woke on your company, you're almost out of business. If you listen to what I'm going to play this one more time, and I want you to listen very carefully to what she's saying, because what she is saying.
Simple definition of cancel culture.
It's a simple definition of cancel culture. It's very simple, but it means so very much because it destroys, and it's evil, and it's unethical.
Simple definition of cancel culture is it's an incapacity to reason clearly in moral terms. Cancel culture is not about persuasion. It's not about truth. It's not about justice. It's not about right. It is about using or misusing words and rhetoric to achieve power and to assert your power over others, to determine what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to say, who you're allowed to support, who you're allowed to be friends with. And it's a complete inversion of what we would traditionally consider to be actual human virtues. Actual virtues, things like charity, a slowness to judge or to condemn, generosity in interpreting the motives, the ideas of others, a commitment to seeking what's true, to doing what's right.
Now, if you think about that, if you really think about what she said about using of words, and we have heard a lot of these words to take power, to get power, to create power. Trans rights, trans women, trans men, him, her, she, it, they, and all of these words, these verbs, these nouns, these pronouns, or whatever they are designed for one specific thing, and that is to get power over you. That they want to shame you into making you say those words. So I think that every single one of us need to really focus on how evil this cancel culture, how evil this wokeness really is. Because it's being used by politicians, it's being used by leaders in those communities to gain power. And nothing more than that is power. Acceptance. Making you feel guilty about not saying he or she or they or it or butterfly or whatever the word may be. We have to be very careful because this wokeness is a very dangerous situation. And if you are owning a business or if you're running a business, stop it. Stop the wokeness because you will destroy your business. Listen, if you have a business question, send it to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. If you would like to sit down confidentially and talk about business issues, business concerns that you have, and you want to talk to someone confidentially, you can book a time slot with me at my website at www.lodge-co.com. Everybody go out and have a great day. Fight against this wokeness. You've got to fight and you got to stand up to wokeness because otherwise it could destroy. Talk with you soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.